it's here. So yeah, let me share. Yeah, so here I think it's very clear. You can see it. So we have in drama we have actors, we have stage, we have audience, and I think this is the big sort of clear difference. We have a stage, we have characters, we have audience, and I think in a novel, yeah, we have, but it's not in the same way. You know, we have characters, yes. We have a stage. Where is the stage? Where the different places and times and so on, where the action is happening, of course. But here in a play, you come and you sit in a theater, in a big room, for example, and you sit there and you watch a stage where characters will be doing something and performing something. And you, as an audience, of course, here. We think the audience means the readers, could be in a novel or in a play, in a poem, you know, the audience, the people, the readers, the society in general. I think this is quite really clear to us, and I don't think I need to explain that. Now, we have what's called here a word or a phrase, what's called soliloquy, really the word from solo, and here soliloquy, speech, to speak, means a character speaking directly to the audience. Soliloquy means when a character on stage on his own or her own would be speaking to the audience directly, no other characters with him or her. We have also what's called chorus, means a group of actors speaking together. But sometimes they don't speak all together, but they speak in one voice, meaning one character will be speaking in their voice, as we say, or on their behalf. Are you there, boys, girls? Are you listening?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, good. Now, really, this is...
Yes, we are listening.
Yeah, thank you, yeah. The idea I'm saying here is, you know, I'm just quickly drawing your attention to those little differences here and there in the play and in a novel. We have a plot, and I think the same thing. We have talked about plots last term in the introduction to literature 1, when we see how the plot is made and so on. And I think I don't need to really read that, because I think it's quite simple. Somebody asking permission to come in? Yeah? No? Yeah. Characters, again, we have here what we say, the same thing. Like as I said, we have the protagonist or the antagonist and protagonist. Really, both are main characters, if you like. Really, the hero or heroine, or the character who is nearly a hero but who is the enemy of the main character. And that's why we say anta here. Really, antagonist or antagonism really means the opposite, the enemy of things, really. And that's, if you like, we say here, the protagonist is the central character, sympathetic or unsympathetic. The force is working against him or her, whether persons, things, etc., etc. And the antagonist, of course, it's as I said, it's the same, who is, if you like, who are other things could be the antagonist, like other characters or other things in the play or in the you know, other situations. Now here we have direct presentation and indirect presentation, and I think we said that. I said that here to you, where the author tells us directly or straightforward by exposition or analysis or through another character. Really, this is in a play is very, very, very rare. You know, only a little bit like, as I said, the introductions or the conclusions, when everybody would be speaking, like in the voice of the main character or really the playwright himself or herself. Again, indirect presentation, I think it's clear when characters are speaking, and I think this is very, very clear. Now, theme, I think you don't need to read it. Please read that because it's very clear. Point of view, symbol. I'm not going to read that because I think it's very clear to you, and I explained this to you before in some places. Now here I come to the maybe one little idea of tragedy. What is tragedy? And here we say, what is the definition of tragedy? Really, tragedy is, quickly to say, anything tragic means there are people who are killed or, you know, murdered or shot dead, or, you know, we have death. In a tragedy, we have death, we have sadness, we have misery, we have, you know, people killing each other. We have, you know, all this what's called tragedy. Unlike comedy. Comedy, we laugh. In tragedy, we cry. Full stop. Aristotle gave us a definition of tragedy, and here I think this is very important definition, and I would like you really to pay attention to this definition by our friend Aristotle. Aristotle is, you know, he was a great philosopher after Plato. Plato, Aflaton, and Aristotle, Aristo, these two great Greek philosophers who were, if you like, the fathers of learning and classics and education and philosophy and thinking and poetry and drama and everything, you know. So really, this is the funny thing here. So we have here Aristotle telling us what is a tragedy, okay? So here he said, tragedy is the imitation in which a dramatic form of an action that is serious or complete, with incidents arousing pity and fear. Here with it affects a catharsis of such emotions. What does this mean? Well, it means it's an imitation. Yeah, of course, in drama we imitate. We say we act, isn't it? And we say action, acting, meaning you are not yourself. You're doing something else for somebody or something. So here we're saying an imitation in dramatic form, in action, a form of an action that is serious or complete. Yeah, you are imitating an action which is really very serious and complete. Again, this action itself makes you feel pity, makes you feel really pity and maybe fear. You are fearful, or you are terrified. You get terrified by the thing that you see. When you see people killing each other or shooting, you know, cutting and shooting, etc., etc., you feel, you know, frightened. And, you know, we say this is a horror fiction, or, you know, feel terrified. So this fear and pity is always in tragedy. So that's what means here. He said affects, or wherewith it affects a catharsis, means the result of which there is a feeling of pity, catharsis. Catharsis, such emotions, means really the pity you feel, the sympathy you feel. The language used is pleasurable and throughout appreciate to the situation in which it is used. The chief characters are noble personages. Yeah, so here we say the language is very serious and very great, could be mostly poetry. In drama, in tragedy, always in tragedy, most of the time. In tragedy, in English, in Greek drama, in English, it's always used, they use poetry in tragedy, whereas in comedy they use prose, because they think tragedy is a refined, more advanced, more noble thing, because it talks about noble people, about kings, princes, great men, great people. And that's what he say, noble personages, noble men and women. That's it. Notice here, better than ourselves, meaning they are not like normal people. They are not like normal people. In tragedy, always we have high standard noble men, kings, princes, whatever, really. And of course, this is what Aristotle thinks. That's Aristotle, what he's saying. And the actions they perform are noble actions. Yeah. And I think now we see this, the example we will have later on, boys and girls, King Oedipus. The play is King Oedipus. And King Oedipus, he is a king. And the whole play is, the main actor is a king and a queen. Of course, we shall see that later. So that's our friend Aristotle giving us a general definition of what is a tragedy. So he said imitation in dramatic action, and it's a serious action, and this action makes us fearful or maybe terrified, or makes us feel pity and makes us feel, emotional. The language is great, is pleasurable, is nice, is high, is poetry. And the situation also is high. And here characters are noble characters. Kings, princes, princesses, queens, good, noble men and women. Full stop. Now, the central features of the Aristotelian archetype, and here he gives us the qualities of those features. And we say here Aristotelian archetype, meaning the type, the old type, which Aristotle really thinks about it. And he goes here, number one, the tragic hero is a character of noble stature and has greatness. If the hero's fall is to arouse in us the emotions of pity and fear, it must be a fall from a great height. Let me put off this AC because I'm getting cold. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm saying here really, boys and girls, in this section we say here, the hero, we say here, he should be, as we can see, from a high noble position, stature, position, place, honorable figure, right? We say great figure. As I said, a king or a queen or a prince or a princess or a duke or a whatever. And here the hero's fall, we say here is, we say why this, we feel fear, because when this great man or woman falls down, we feel pity for them. That's the idea. We feel emotional for them because we think of them so highly. And we say because the fall will be very high, like, a king, like what we shall see in King Oedipus. Number two, we say the tragic hero is preeminently great. She is not perfect. Yeah, so we say, yeah, he is a king or a queen, but he is not perfect because he's a human being. He is not perfect. Therefore, he must have a problem. He must have an error somewhere. In Aristotle called it flaw. Naqsun ma, or aibun ma. One little fault, one little mistake, one little error, and this error will make him fall. And he called it flaw. like hubris, absolute excessive pride or passion, or like hamartia, or, you know, absolute, you know, stupid thing which would lead to the man's or to the hero's downfall. Like what we shall see later in Oedipus. Oedipus's great flaw is his pride. He is so proud of himself. He thinks he's a great man. He is a powerful man. No mistakes. But he did commit a horrible mistake. We shall see that later. And that's what we call his flaw, which led to his downfall, led to his destruction. And that's the tragedy. You know, in a tragedy, you have that. Number 3, we say the hero's downfall, therefore, is partially his or her own fault. So you fall because of your mistake. It's your own fault, the result of one's own free choice. Free choice. We shall see later again when we talk about King Oedipus. People say, well, doctor, this is fate. This is destiny and fate. When you are fated, you can't do anything. Yeah. But you have a mind. You have a mind. Use your mind. Use your senses. Really, the play says, use your senses, use your mind. If you don't, you will be like Oedipus, and you will commit a terrible crime, and you will kill yourself for it. And that's really the idea here. So it's not free, you know, the result of one's own free choice, not the result of pure accident or villainy or some overriding malignant fate. People say, Wallah ya akhi nasibi, qadari, 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 yeah. So really the play is this idea here about, is it really my fate? Or we say here malignant fate? Or is it your own? You can do something about it. Well, nevertheless, we say number 4, the hero's misfortune is not mostly deserved. Sometimes we say we feel sorry because we don't think this person really deserves this. And that's why we feel sorry for him. And sometimes we say the punishment is too much. You know, the punishment is too much. Notice here, the punishment exceeds the crime. And that's why we say, oh, what a shame. The hero really does not deserve this punishment. And therefore we feel really sorry for him or her. And that's why we keep on admiring him or her, you know, and so on, so on. The last, well, 5, the penultimate last, the tragic flaw or fault is not pure loss, though it may result in the hero's death. Therefore, or before, there is some increase in awareness. Again, sometimes we say some gain in self-knowledge, or as Aristotle puts it, some discovery. Yeah, when Aristotle, or when Oedipus, when Oedipus, you know, plucked out his eyes, he discovered something. Yeah, it was a tragic thing that his mother, you know, hanged herself and killed herself. Of course, you know, the discovery for her was too much, and she hanged herself, which is terrible. Whereas he plucked out his own eyes and he discovered that his action was horrible and so on. So, but he learned something, and this, he went on in life later on discovering his great mistake. So there is a message here. We say there is self-knowledge. There is an awareness of what was going on. Do you understand, my boys and girls? Yeah, so we say, though it arouses solemn emotion, pity and fear, says Aristotle, comparison and awe might be better terms. Tragedy, when well performed, does not leave its audience in a state of depression. Yeah, in a tragedy, you don't go out of the play feeling, you know, you want to kill yourself. No, you don't feel depressed. In a tragedy, Aristotle said you should learn something. You should not feel as an audience, as a reader, as somebody watching the play. You should not feel depressed and absolutely miserable and you want to hit yourself in a wall or something. No. Aristotle said in a tragedy, you don't feel this. Okay? He says you will get really this feeling of emotional increase. You say here what he called it catharsis, which is, as I said, the pity and fear, the pity. You learn, well, why you pity? Because you know, and then you feel sorry for someone, which is like here, emotional release at the end, when shared as a common experience by the audience. And I think this is a lovely definition by our friend Aristotle. I like this definition. Please read that. That's why as you can see, I gave you nearly half an hour about that so far. Now in comedy, I think it's clear, you know, in a comedy, we always laugh. Notice here, Northrop Frye has said, lies or comedy lies between satire and romance. Yeah, well, I don't know. Let me have a sip of my tea. I'm drinking something here which is really interesting. It's a Syrian drink. I'm not going to show you. Yeah, so Northrop Frye, a Canadian critic, he talks about it. He said, comedy is something like between satire and romance. It's a comic mask, laughing or smiling. We usually laugh at someone, but smile with someone. Yeah. Laughter expresses recognition of some absurdity in human behavior. Smile expresses pleasure in one's company or good fortune. The essential difference between tragedy and comedy is in the depiction of human nature. Tragedy shows greatness in human nature and human freedom, whereas comedy shows human weakness and the human limitation. Yeah, I think this is nice. If you like here, the difference between tragedy and comedy here. Now, the norms of comedy are primarily social, and we say here the protagonist is always in a group or maybe emphasizes commonness. You know, like not on his own, would be normally with a group of people. Like we say, a tragic hero possesses overpowering individuality. In a tragedy, a hero is an individual, whereas in a comedy, no, mostly type, mostly like many others. And here I say the example, notice. The play is often named after her or him, like Antigone or like Othello, whereas the comic protagonist tends to be a type. Yeah, a type means like everybody else. I think it's clear. I'm not going to. You can finish this yourself. You can see it. Really, it's nice. Conclusion there. Maybe I'll read it quickly. Comic plots are not or do not exhibit the high degree of organic unity as tragedy, for example. Plausibility is not usually the central characteristic. Again, the cause effect is not, but mostly as a result of coincidences. And I think this is funny because in coincidences, we sometimes laugh and say, how? Again, the improbable disguises, because in comedy, we find the people, the way they disguise, and we see that they are disguising. So we have mistaken identities. Again, this is again very funny, how men pretend to be women or women pretend to be men. And when we see them that they are women, for example, when they are men, and so on. So this mistaken identity is the source of comedy and laughter here. So really we say the purpose of comedy is to make us laugh, simply. and at the same time to help to illuminate human nature and human weaknesses, not just laughing. Remember, in comedy, we don't just laugh. We also learn. We also learn. Yes, there are many lessons and messages in comedy, as like in tragedy. Absolutely. And you know, the dramas and the comedies we have in Arabic, for example, you know, are plentiful. Like here we say accidental discovery or act of divine intervention is called deus ex machina or ex machina. Really, this is when you see a sudden change of things. And you say, how come? How come this happened? You say, well, out of the blue, like something came down from a machine, or machina here, or deus, or like God going down through a machine. Really here, like act of divine intervention, like something done by God. You say, how? I don't know. Of course, dramatists do that, and it's called deus, or deus. Here is really mean from heaven, from God-like or divine-like. And ex machina, and this is, as I said, really coming from above. Sudden reform are common comic devices. Comedy is the thinking person's response to experience. Tragedy records the reactions of the person, and so on. So here we have so many examples of that. And we have melodrama and we have farce. Melodrama, you say, you can arouses pity and fear through cruder means. It's very crude and very savage sometimes, like good and evil are clearly depicted in white and black motifs. Plot is emphasized over character development. Here we call this melodrama, you know, means too much, you know. You say, come on. Farce is even far more unbelievable, aimed at arousing explosive laughter. Notice, explosive laughter, using crude means. Again, like conflicts are violent, practical jokes are common, and the wit is coarse. Psychologically, farce may boost the reader's spirit and purge hostility and aggression. And sometimes you say, oh, come on. When you say, I don't believe this. This is a farce. Means too much. I can't accept it. You say, well, this is farcical. I cannot accept that. Yeah, okay. I think I spent more time than I should, really. Eugene O'Neill is my friend. I like him. He's a great man. Absolutely. In my views, he is one of the best. Absolutely the best. Eugene O'Neill. And he's an originally Irish dramatist. He's a great dramatist, the best American, to me, the best American dramatist ever. Nobody else. Eugene O'Neill is number one and the only one in American drama till now, in my opinion, in my simple, maybe humble, really opinion. I don't know. He's a great man. Especially not because of this one. I'm talking about a play called A Long Day's Journey into Night. I don't know. One day you should really see this this play. It's a play. Let me show you something here. I have it here as a movie. If you want, I can send it to you. I can send you the movie. It's a lovely film here. It's called Long Day's Journey into Night. It's in YouTube. Long Day's Journey into Night. I don't know if I show you something here now. I think YouTube people will be angry with me, because last time when I showed you something from Oliver Twist, they sent me a message. They say this is illegal, and I say, huh, big deal. You can go to hell. Yeah. So okay. Yeah. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah. So O'Neill, in this play called Isle, when you look here at this word Isle, in English, really there's no word in English, Isle. Really, there's no Isle. It's really oil, but the American pronunciation of oil, you know, O-I-L-E, and the American way, the way of they speak oil, you know, oil, oil. So it's Isle. So that's why it became Isle. You know Americans, how they speak. Yeah. Sorry for you if you speak American. I don't like it. But anyway, here our friend still I like him because he's Irish. Originally, he's not American. He's Irish, because Americans are mostly arrogant people. That's why I'm saying this, really. And I don't like arrogant people. Now, Eugene O'Neill is this great man giving us here a play, one long, short play called Isle. And it's to do with a ship, a master, a captain of a ship who goes out into the sea to fish whales. And they kill these whales and they take the oil out of them. And they bring the ship full of oil. But this ship, because they went up to the Bering Sea, the North Sea, they couldn't find whales because the sea was frozen. And the captain said, I'm not coming back till my ship is full of oil. I will not come back. But his men, the workers and his men, the crew, the ship, the workers in the ship, the time they have signed their contracts for 2 years was over. And they said, we want to go back. We are no longer with you here. You have to go back. And he said, no, I will not come back till my ship is full of oil. And they wanted to go in mutiny, to go in riots. And he said, I'm going to shoot any one of you who will go into this, because I am the law here and I am the captain here. And I will not come back till my ship is full of oil. And he did. It's, as you can see, it's a great play. It's a tragedy. It's about will and about determination and about stubbornness and about single-mindedness and about, I want to do it. And he did it. Huh? Really. It's about this captain who wants to say, I will not come back till my ship is full of oil. And he did it. Really, it's a great, there's a mixture really here of melodrama, as we shall see. Really a funny melodramatic thing. It's really somehow tragic. We shall see later why it's tragedy. I want you to tell me why it's tragedy and why it's comedy. We shall see this. As you can see, it's one act play. It's a short play, small play, one act play, and the characters only few characters, the captain and his wife, and some, members of the crew. So as you can see here, the characters, Ben, the cabin boy, who is like a servant, and the steward also, who's like a servant. Captain Keeney, he's the man. Slocum, his mate, his second mate, and Mrs. Keeney, this is his wife. And we have Joe, the harpooner, the one who is the harpooner, like the man who tells them about what's going on around them in the sea. And we have members of the crew, as you can see, members of the crew of the steam whaler Atlantic Queen. So the name of the ship is called Atlantic Queen. And it's called whaler. Why whaler? From whale. Because they are hunting whales. Al-Hitan. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْحِيتَانِ. Huh? Boys?
Yes, Doctor.
Yes, Doctor, we are here.
Are you following me?
Yes.
Yes, Doctor.
Everything is fine?
Everything is fine.
Yes, Doctor.
Yeah, the weather is lovely. I was outside. The sun is shining 38 degrees. Wow, it's lovely. What do you think?
Very lovely.
Yeah, it's still, honestly, it's nice. I'm not joking. It's really lovely. I like it. Yeah. So yeah. So here the play, as you can see, the captain, as we said, the introduction of the beginning of the play. Notice Captain Keeney's cabin on board the steam whaling ship Atlantic Queen, a small square compartment about 8 feet high, with a skylight in the center looking out on the poop deck. On the left, the stern of the ship, a long bench with rough cushions is built in against the wall. In front of the bench, a table. Over the bench, several curtained portholes. As you can see here, as I told you, because it's a scene, because here we are reading it, it's not we don't see it on stage. That's why we see the description of the stage. In the rear left, a door leading to the captain's sleeping quarters. To the right of the door, a small organ looking as if it were brand new is placed against the wall. On the right to the rear is a marble-topped sideboard. On the sideboard, a woman's sewing basket. Farther forward, a drawing way leading to the companionway, and past the officers' quarters to the main deck. In the center of the room, a stove. From the middle of the ceiling a hanging lamp is suspended. The walls of the cabin are painted white. There's no rolling of the ship, and the light which comes through the skylight is sickly and faint, indicating one of those gray days of calm when ocean and sky are alike dead. The silence is unbroken except for the measured tread of someone walking up and down on the poop deck overhead. You know, you can see the description. Really, it's a lovely, you know, the dramatic description here. I'm reading it the way really I want you to feel this, how the atmosphere of the ship. It is nearing 2 bells, nearly, you know, 1 o'clock. In the afternoon of a day in the year 1895. So notice here the beginning, of course, the timing of the play, 1895. Right. At the rise of the curtain, there is a moment of intense silence. Then the steward enters and commences to clear the table of the few dishes which still remain on it after the captain's dinner. He is an old grizzled man dressed in dungaree pants, a sweater, and a woolen cap with ear flaps. Notice the lovely description of the captain as an old grizzled man, you know, and you know, he's a rough man. Again, dungaree pants and sweater and so on. The way really he's described, I think, is very I think, dramatic here. His manner is sullen and angry. He seems to be always angry because he's not happy. He wants to find the fish, the whales, but he could not because of the snow. He stops stacking up the plates and casts a quick glance upward at the skylight, then tiptoes over the closed door in rear and listens to his ear with his ear pressed to the crack. What he hears makes his face darken and he murmurs a furious curse. There is a noise from the doorway on the right and he darts back to the table. I think this is a lovely, you know, description of how this steward is doing, you know, his, you know, eavesdropping, if you like, and funny the way he said, notice tiptoes, the way he's walking on his toes, because he does not want anybody to hear him. He wants to hear what his master is up to. Ben enters. He is an overgrown, gawky boy with a long, pinched face. Again, here, notice here the word gawky boy, you know, as if he's a boy, but he looks old, which is a really funny description. Just to describe someone like gawky. He's an overgrown, gawky boy, you know. It's really funny, unbelievable description. I've never heard of this, really. Gawky and overgrown boy. As I said, you know, someone who's like 20, but he looks like 40 or 50 because of his looks. He's dressed in a sweater, fur cap, etc. His teeth are chattering with the cold, and he hurries to the stove where he stands for a moment, shivering, blowing on his hands, slapping them against his sides, on the verge of crying. And the steward, of course, as you can see, starts the dialogue here between them. The steward, in relief tones, seeing who it is. Oh, it's you, is it? Where is, what are ye shivering about? Stay by the stove where ye belong, and you will find no need of chattering. Of course, you can see here the spoken language, the spoken English, the spoken American, of course, English. He said, you know, the way, oh, it's you, is it? Where are you? Why? Notice here, what are you shivering about? You know, why are you shaking? Stay by the stove where you belong, and you will find no need of chattering. And the Ben said, of course, it's cold. You know, yeah, it's cold. Trying to control his chattering teeth derisively. Who do you think it were? The old man? You know, or it were, you know, the noise, the one, you know, because they were hearing the footsteps up deck, and they said, he asked him, who do you think these steps going and coming, who do you think? The old man? Of course, he means the old man is the captain, and they call the word old man. You know, they give him this name, old man. The steward makes a threatening move. Ben shrinks away. You know, threatening move, and he shrinks away. You know, Ben, as I said, is like we say, he's a coward boy. Ben shrinks away. None of your lip, young one, or I'll learn you. You know, as if to say, you shut up, you don't say a word like that. None of your lip, young one, or I will learn you. What learn you? I will teach you. Means I will hit you and teach you how to shut up. More kindly. Where was it you have been all of the time? Where was it? Look at this English. Where was it you have been all of the time? The forecastle? Where have you been all this time? Where have you been all this time? Tell me. In the forecastle? The forecastle? Look at this word. The forecastle? The forecastle? The forecastle? Or the fore means up at the front side of the ship. The forecastle. And Ben said, yeah. The steward, let the old man see you up forward, monkey shining with the hands, and you'll get a hiding you will never forget in a hurry. Yeah, he said, okay, let the captain, the old man, see you doing this. Notice here, you see you up forward, monkey shining. Yeah, what's monkey shining? Hello? Girls, boys, my friends, where are you?
Can you repeat the question, Doctor?
What's monkey shining? Let the old man see you up forward, monkey shining with the hands, and you will get a hiding. If you know this expression, I will give you 5 marks. up forward, monkey shining with the hands, and he will get 5 marks for you people. Five marks.
Can I, Doctor?
Huh?
It's as wasting his time.
Yeah. Yeah. Just that.
And playing with the other people's, when he say with hands, without any benefit, maybe.
Yeah, I will give you 2.5, Nabiha. Very good, but still, somebody else? Thank you,
Like,
Nabiha.
so it won't be taken from him or stolen from him?
Sorry?
So
What did you say?
he wants to hide something, but the monkey don't steal it from him or something.
No, not really. What's, yeah, anyone? Anyone? Yeah. طيبة, Saeed? Yeah. Well, really, this is a funny expression, American funny expression. Monkey shining really is playing tricks and games and playing and wasting time, as Nabi has said. You're playing and wasting your time and shining, you know, monkey shining. It's really funny how to express, if you want to translate this and monkey and shining. Come on. How do you shine and, you know, monkey shining? Really means absolutely playing and wasting time. Playing and wasting time. And playing tricks. And playing games with the hands. What hands? The other workers of the ship. Here, hands means the crew, the men, the other men on the ship. Because Ben is going up there. He said, if the captain sees you once later on playing with these men up there, with the boys, with the crew, and playing games with them, he's going to beat you to death. And that's the idea, what he says to him. Notice, he said, if let the old man see you up, let the old man see you up forward, monkey shining with the hands. خلي العم خلي notice here, the old man, the captain, to see you, yeah, playing tricks with these workers up there on the ship, and you will get a hiding. Hiding means he will beat you to death, and he will beat you, and you will not forget in a hurry. Means he will give you a beating that you will never forget. You will spend time and time and time. You will not forget. We say this. ولا قتلك قتلي خليك ما تنساها في حياتك. We say that this. بدي قتلك قتلي ما خليك تنساها في عمرك. Huh? Do you say that here in Oman? Hello? Boys?
Yeah, we say that, Doctor.
Do you say that?
Yeah, بقيت لك.
Yeah. And sometimes we say بدي قتلك قتلي خليك تنسى حليب اللي رضعته من أمك. Do you say that?
I think you say that, Doctor, yeah.
Well, that's what it means, really. That's what it means, he said. He's going to beat you. Notice, you will get a hiding. You will not forget in a hurry. You will not forget it quickly. You will remember it forever. Then, oh, he don't see nothing. So he's laughing. He can't see me. he doesn't see anything. He can't see anything. He does not see anything. A trace of awe in his tones. He glances upward. But he said this when he was terrified, looking up to see the captain. He just walks up and down like he didn't notice nobody. Again, look at this English here. He didn't notice nobody. You know, the adjectives, sorry, the double negatives in the spoken American English. Only Americans use this. The English don't see it. I mean, the English people or British people don't use double negatives like that. He didn't notice nobody, you know, double negatives. And he stares at the ice in the northward. The steward, the same tone of awe creeping into his voice. He's always staring at the sea, at the ice. He is always, means the captain is always looking out to the sea and staring at the ice, the frozen sea. In a sudden rage, shaking his fist at the skylight. Ice, 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 you know. And then he is doing this and, you know, shaking his hand up. Here the steward is saying it, not Ben. You know, ice, ice, damn him and damn the ice, holding us in for nigh on a year. Nothing to see but ice, stuck in it like a fly in molasses. Damn him and damn the ice, holding us, you know, damn, of course, you know, I'm cursing him here, and holding us here for nigh on a year. Nigh, what's nigh?
9 months.
For nigh on a year.
9 months, Doctor?
No. The word
Nearly.
nigh. Yeah, that's very good. Yes, nearly. Nearly for a year. We have been here nearly. Near. Nigh means near. Nearly for a year. Nothing to see but ice. Stuck in it like a fly in a molasses. We are stuck here in this sea like a fly stuck in, you know, molasses, which is really an amazing image here. Ben apprehensively, shh, he'll hear you. He's saying to him, shut up, he will hear you. The steward raging, hey, damn him and damn the Arctic seas. And damn this stinking whaling ship of his, and damn me for a fool to ever ship on it. The steward here is so angry, damning everybody. يلعن 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 يخرب بيتك. What's wrong with you? Damn him and damn the Arctic seas, and damn this stinking whaling ship, and damn me for a fool. Subsiding as if realizing the usefulness of this outburst, shaking his head against slowly and deep conviction. He is a hard man, as hard a man as ever sailed the seas. You see, this is the idea that they are saying that he's a tough, horrible man. If there are any, you know, you say here, you know, he's absolutely a horrible, tough, hard man, if there are men like that. And again, Ben solemnly said, hey, hey, the steward, the 2 years we all signed up for are done this day. We signed a contract today for 2 years, and today is over. Today we finish, the 2 years is up. The 2 years we all signed up for are done, finished today, this day. Blessed be Christ. Alhamdulillah. 2 years of this dog's life and no luck in the fishing. Amr.
نعم دكتور.
Translation to Arabic, this 2 words in Arabic. This dog's life.
This pity life, or this horrible life.
I said Arabic.
هذه الحياة ذاك.
البائسة.
البايسة
Dog's
مساوي
life.
الزفتة.
حياة الكلاب.
ايوه، عيشة الكلاب هذه، عيشة الكلاب هذه. يا yeah, it's funny, isn't it? We say this in Arabic. We say it. I like this, the way he said it. 2 years of dog's life, of this dog's life. سنتين من عيشة الكلاب هذه. لا إله إلا الله. طول بالك يا ولد، يا زلمة خدنا في حلمك. ها؟ Isn't it? Calm down. Calm down. So you can see the steward really is very angry. 2 years of this dog's life and no luck in the fishing. And the hands half starved. We have no luck. And the hands, the workers, the men are really, really starving. And the food running low. We are losing all the food. We no longer have enough food. Rotten as it is. معفن كما هو. And not a sign of him turning back for home. And he's not coming back. He will not go back. Bitterly, here, bimarara, he said it. Home. He wants to go back home. I begin to doubt if I will set foot on land again. Oh, what a shame. He's saying, I can't believe it. Maybe I will never go back. Excitedly again, what is it he thinks he's going to do? What do you think he's going to do? Keep us here, keep us all up here, for our time is worked out till the last man of us is starved to death or frozen? Is he going to keep us here, all of us, so we can all die? Or we can all starve, or we can die frozen? What's this man? We have grub enough hardly to last out the voyage back if we started now. Even if we go back now, back home, even the food that we have will not be enough for us to keep us alive. What are the men going to do about it? What do you think we should be doing? Did you hear any talk in the forecastle? Did you know what they are saying, the other men, the other boys? What are we going to do here? Then going over to him in a half whisper, they said, if he don't put back south for home today, they are going to mutiny. So they are saying, if we are not coming back home today, they are going to go, he said, to mutiny. Al-Usyan. Al-Usyan. What? Mutiny? To disobey and reject orders. That's Usyan. And mutiny at sea is punishable by death. Mutiny by sea is punishable by law, by death. Captain can kill people by law. By the way, this is the law, and this is true. The steward with the grim satisfaction, mutiny? What? Hey, it's the only thing they can do and serve him right after the deserve he had treated them, as if they weren't no better nor dogs. Serve him right. What's that? Serve him right. Boys, Faiz.
What? What, doctor?
What is serve him right?
He deserve it.
Yes. He deserves this. He's
Doctor,
that. Yeah.
doctor, sorry for interrupting, and I don't want to be rude, but can you consider the time?
Oh, it's 1:14. What do you mean?
The class ends in 1:15, right? Or
No, 1:20, my friend.
okay. Sorry. I Yeah, sorry. I miscounted.
No problem, no problem, no problem. Yeah, but I will stop in a few minutes. Don't worry. Yeah. So really, here he's saying here serves him right after the manners he's treating them means he deserves this kind of mutiny. He deserves it because he is not coming back, because he has treated us badly, all of us, as if they were not better than dogs. He's treating us worse than dogs. And Ben said, the ice is all broke up to southward. There is clear water as far as you can see. He ain't got no excuse for not turning back for home, the man says. Yeah. So he's saying, yeah, the ice back to the south is broken, so we can sail back home easily. And the men say this, they can see it. But look here, the man says, you know, the ungrammatical American here, ungrammatical American spoken English. And by the way, this play should be read always and should be acted in a loud voice, by the way. Should be always acted in when people like quarreling. Really, it's like a quarrel, it should be. Yeah. He ain't got no excuse for not turning back for home, the man says. He has no excuses for not coming back. All of us believe that he can, he should. The steward bitterly, he won't look nowheres but northward where there is only the ice to see. He don't want to see no clear water. All he thinks is getting the isle, as if it were our fault. He ain't had good luck with the whales, shaking his hands. I think the man mighty nigh losing his senses. So here again, the steward is saying he will not change his mind. He will not look south. He always looking up north, where there's ice. He wants to wait for the water to clear. He wants to ship. He wants the oil. Notice, all he thinks is getting the oil, as if it was our fault. He ain't had good luck with the whales. So what is it to do with us? We should not be blamed. It's not our luck. It's his luck that there are no whales. So what can we do about it? It's not our fault. I think the man is mighty nigh losing his senses. Allahu a'lam laqad faqada ar-rajul aqlah. Allahu a'lam. You know, this is the idea. I think the man is mighty nigh. Mighty nigh, yani nearly lost his mind. Ben, oh, do you really think he's crazy? Yeah, I think I'll stop here and we'll see if he's crazy next time. Any question, boys and girls? Questions? I'll stop here and I'll stop recording.